Hey guys, I know this is going to be a little bit rushed because I'm about to leave the house, but I wanted to get this filmed and get this video started so that I can start reading in peace, knowing that I already had this portion of the video filmed. This video is going to be a mood reading vlog, so I'm just reading whatever I want, whenever I want, and talking about whatever I'm reading with you guys. So yeah, that's really all there is to it, but I do know that the first book I'm reading in this video is going to be This Summer Will Be Different by Carly Fortune. I have read Every Summer After and Meet Me at the Lake. I'll talk a little bit more about it in later clips. So glad you clicked on this video, and let's have a fun time mood reading together. Oh yeah, this is spoiler free. Hey guys, time for a little update. I am currently 137 pages into This Summer Will Be Different. I know I had a little bit of a rushed intro, so I'm gonna explain a little bit more about what the book is about, and then I'll share my feelings so far to this point. So this is about Lucy and Felix. Basically, Lucy's best friend Bridget is about to get married, and then she kind of randomly calls up Lucy and she's like, hey, come on out to Prince Edward Island. It's urgent. I need you out here. And so Lucy goes out there, even though it's pretty close to Bridget's wedding. And Prince Edward Island is like a place that Lucy visited a lot with Bridget. That's one of the places she felt at home and she really liked going there. So this isn't like a new atmosphere for Lucy. This is almost more of a home to her than where she actually lives. So she's out there with Bridget, not exactly sure why. She just knows that her friend needs her, and it's kind of out of character for Bridget to act this way. Now Felix is Bridget's brother, so best friend's brother. So apparently Bridget has asked Felix to come out there as well. Both Lucy and Felix are out there because they're there to support Bridget, but they're not really sure why. Yeah, that's kind of the premise of the book. However, obviously Lucy and Felix have some history for sure, and so both of them showing up at the same place again, they're both like, okay, what's going on? It's also in Lucy's POV, I think, the whole time. I haven't seen anything where it switches, and everything that I read has been in her point of view. It is also hopping between current timeline and past, so we get looks into Felix and Lucy's past together at these different summers and different moments when they're out at Prince Edward Island, which is really good for this story because we're immediately thrown into the present and we really haven't seen any of their past, so we don't really know the status of their current situation without getting those flashbacks to the past. But so far I'm enjoying it. I really like the setting of it. This is a really good summer book because you can feel all the summer vibes in the setting. Summer, perfect. If you're looking for a summer book rec, this would be a really good one. The relationship between Lucy and Felix, in my opinion, based off of what I've read so far, it seems mostly physical. Even in the flashbacks to the past, the immediate thing that drew them together was like the physical, and that's how it's been every time it flashes to the past. I feel like there hasn't been much conversation or emotional connection between the two of them. I'm still enjoying the book, but I'm also at the same time reading it a little bit slower than I would normally read. I guess I take more breaks, and I'm not always super eager to just dive right back into the story. I'm not saying that in a complaining way though, because I'm still enjoying the book, but what I'm really hoping is that there's more of an emotional connection between Lucy and Felix, because so far all I'm getting is physical, which, don't get me wrong, I love the physical parts of relationships, especially in books, but when there's just almost no emotional connection with it, it just doesn't hit. But yeah, I'm about 40% of the way through. I am really loving the environment, loving the setting. Oh yeah, I wanted to say one more thing. Carly Fortune, I think this is something I have picked up in this book and the other two books of hers that I've read, Every Summer After and Meet Me at the Lake. Her writing feels so nostalgic in a way where I almost feel like when she's writing, especially in the flashback chapters, it feels like I have experienced or I have memories of those. I feel like I'm the FMC looking back on my life. I don't know how she's doing it, and even in the current chapters, overall her writing feels so nostalgic, and I don't really know how to explain it, but it feels like it's nostalgic on a personal level to me when I have not experienced any of this. So I really don't know if that makes any sense, but I feel like I have felt this way in all of her books. But yeah, I will keep you updated if I have any more thoughts that I want to share. finished reading This Summer Will Be Different about 2-3 days ago, but I'm just now getting to this part where I film my review and my thoughts. I actually typed a few out. I wanted to remember and make sure I shared this stuff with you guys. First off, this book took me a long time to read. Not that it was boring. I don't know what it was about it. I don't know if I was reading slower when I was reading or if I just wasn't picking it up as much. I don't know what it was, but it took me a lot longer to read this book than it normally takes me. However, the last third of this book was so much better than the first part, and I know that's how it is for a lot of books. The end is gonna be the most exciting. It's probably gonna have the most conflict, a love confession, all this fun stuff, but this one, I feel like the change was much more drastic. Like, I was giggling a lot more, I had more emotions, I got more connected to the characters than I was expecting based off of how the rest of the book went. One thing about this book though, the relationship between Felix and Lucy, I just feel like it was so physical. Towards the end, we did get a little bit more emotionally into it, and that part of the relationship did get better. However, overall, a majority of it was so physical, and there was even a point in the book where I was like, they're making out again. They're gonna do it again. I normally don't complain about those scenes, but there was a part a little bit towards the end where I was like, all right guys, like, we get it. Can we have a conversation? I think that was another part that I didn't prefer about their relationship, that even when it did get more emotionally deep and I was enjoying it more, there wasn't much conversation. It was more dialogue about Lucy's thoughts on the situation and Lucy's thoughts towards Felix, but I feel like we didn't get enough conversation between them. I don't know. However, the part that I was really emotionally connected to was the friendship between Bridget and Lucy. There were moments where I was about to tear up because of what their friendship was going through and just the way they felt towards each other, because it reminds me so much of my best friend, and my best friend is gone all summer. Literally mad at her about that. That's one thing I wrote down. I was more emotionally invested in Lucy and Bridget's friendship than I was in Lucy and Felix's relationship. Another thing that's a little odd with this book, I enjoy the relationship between Lucy and Felix more after they had, not a third act breakup, but there's, you know, that moment where they get together and then there's like this conflict. I literally enjoyed the part of the story after they were together. And normally when you're reading a book and the characters get together, it starts to get a little more boring because you're like, oh, the chase is over. We're not guessing if they're gonna get together or how they're gonna get together. Like, we know they're together. Okay, let's finish up the book. That was not the case with this one. I got more excited after that happened, and that doesn't usually happen either. So that was interesting, different. And the last thing I want to say, I really liked the message of self-love and truly finding comfort in yourself and who you are. Yeah, I just really connected with that, and I liked the way Lucy handled it. She really took a moment and she's like, okay, I'm going to really focus on myself. I'm going to figure out what I want. I'm going to get to the point where I am confident in myself and who I am without having to involve men and all this other drama and stuff and moving around and just immediately acting on my heart and my feelings. I'm gonna take a moment and just really get grounded in myself and get fully confident. I really liked that part of the book as well. So yeah, those are all my thoughts on this book. I think my final rating is gonna be 3.5 stars. I put 3.5 on Goodreads. That's only because the last third of the book I really enjoyed. I was gonna give it 3.25 stars. That's my final rating. Yeah, it was better than Meet Me at the Lake. Oh my god, I literally hated that book and almost wanted to DNF it. But yeah, I enjoyed it, and the atmosphere for summer. If you're looking for a summer read that feels all summer vibes, definitely pick this one up because you can really feel the summer vibes in this one. The next book book I'm reading in this video. I actually wasn't expecting to read it in this video, but then I went to my physical TBR and realized I had less options than I thought I did, and that this was the option I wanted to read the most out of all of those, and that is Say You Swear by Megan Brandy. I've heard a lot of people get really emotionally attached to this book. I couldn't tell you who I heard that from. I've just seen that on the internet. First off, why is it a whole brick? You could probably injure someone a little bit with this one. It's not max brick level, but it's definitely getting there. I think it's about 500 or so pages. But yeah, I started reading this book already. I've read 41 pages. I'm just gonna read the back to you because that's all I knew going into it. For years I've dreamt of what college life could bring, and while some things changed, there was always one constant. It didn't matter how wild I allowed my imagination to run, it always led me to the same place in the end. It led me to him. My future was clear and he was it. Until suddenly, he wasn't. Now I'm a shell of who I was, on a path too blurry to follow, and I see no way out, no way up. They say first loves last forever. That's exactly what I'm afraid of. So yeah, that's all I knew going into this book. Now that I've read a few pages, these are my thoughts so far. Why are there so many characters? Within the span of like 20 pages, there were like 10 different characters. I was trying so hard to remember everybody. Our main character is Ariana. Sometimes she goes by Ari. And then her brother, who's her twin, his name is Mason, but sometimes he goes by Mace. And then Mason has two best friends, Brady and Chase. I think those are the four main characters right now. At the beginning of this book, they are going to this beach house that their parents bought for the kids. Brady, Chase, Mason, and Ari. Oh, and Cam, Ari's best friend, but her full name is Cameron, and they sometimes call her Cameron, but she goes by Cam. So that's already so many nicknames for people. That's the core group, I think. They're at a beach house because their parents bought a beach house for all the kids. They wanted the kids to always be able to kind of be connected and everything. So they're at the beach and they've met a few other people who are new characters that are getting introduced. And then there's a bunch of cousins that are included as well. And I'm honestly so confused. There's just so many characters, but I will say I'm loving the atmosphere. It's so summer vibes, which is just not, I was not expecting summer vibes when I looked at this book. I thought it was going to be a lot different, but the vibes are perfect for this time of the year. I'm not complaining. So I have been complaining this whole time. It is a little confusing and I'm reading it really slow because I'm trying to like really create pictures for all these characters, but it's so hard because there's so many. Really enjoying it, and I am scared that I'm going to get super attached. This is what the beginning of every single chapter looks like. Are you kidding me? Are you actually kidding me? First off, it's hard to read. Second off, did we have to go with that picture? Really? I literally read at the gym, walking on the treadmill, and when I get to that page, I'm like this. But then I also want to cover the front of the book because I don't want anyone to know what I'm reading. Don't like that choice, but I'm not complaining. I mean, I am, but you know, whatever. Two words. Noah Riley. Noah Riley. That's it. That's the clip. It feels like I have not talked to you guys, especially in this video, in a long time. I know to you guys, you're like, actually, shut up. If you don't mind, take a break. But I have been reading Say You Swear for a week now. And I am only about a little over halfway through. Let me explain, because that sounds like I'm just not enjoying it. That's not the case. I really am enjoying this book. I would say I'm actually really enjoying this book so far. I have just been having this thing, I call it chapteritis, where I read a chapter and then I immediately go on my phone. No matter how much I'm enjoying the book, I keep doing that, and so I could read for an hour, but I'm only getting about 30 minutes of reading. If that makes any sense, I don't know. That's what I've been doing. And the other reason is that this book is over 500 pages, so it is a long book in general. But so far, I'm really enjoying the book. I really like the atmosphere of this book. It's a group of friends. They're all new to college, and all the boys play football, so it's their first year on the team. I love the friend aspect, their whole friend group. I really like all of them. Any books like this, I compare to Icebreaker. Okay, do not sue me. First off, yes, I enjoyed that book. I read it at the beginning of my reading journey, and it was like the first sports romance book that I read. So anytime I read a sports romance book, I always compare it to that. Really am enjoying the sports and the friendship aspect of it. It's just so much fun to read about. With that being said, I would say the relationship in here, it's feeling like a slow burn. Stuff has happened in the relationship, but the story overall feels very much slow burny, but it's still entertaining. But at the same time, I feel like something is gonna happen. I keep posting about this book and people are like, oh my god, that one made me cry. And that's scaring me a little bit because I don't see how it could make me cry. But the thing is, things are going so well right now. So actually, there is so much space for tears. Noah Riley, I think he may be one of the best communicators I have ever read about. The way this man communicates to Ariana is, it is spectacular. He will let her know how he feels. He knew Ariana had this thing going on with her friend Chase, which I'm not going to say too much about it, but he's in the friend group. They've always had this thing, this like tension thing going on, and Noah ends up learning about it. And he was like, I will be here, but I am waiting for you. So when you are ready, you tell me, you come to me, you tell me and show me that you're ready, and I'm there. I'm there immediately. I just want to let you know. And he's like, I'm not walking away. I'm not leaving. I'm going to stay with you as you process this. And as soon as you're ready, however long it takes. That is just one of the many times he communicates with her. And I love it so much. There was a part that literally made me tear up because I was like, no man would ever. No man would ever communicate that well. I wouldn't either, but like, that's not the point, okay? So yeah, this is a fun experience. I am scared of the tears that people have mentioned. Little bit worried about that. I do have a hint as to what may cause the tears. I'm gonna keep reading Say You Swear, and I will update you if I break down in tears. Okay. Finished Say You Swear about 4 days ago, and I have gone back and forth on my rating. I have really been like thinking about this book, thinking about my feelings during this book, and I think I finally settled on a rating, and that rating is 4.5 stars. Even though I didn't know much going into this book, the book was still not what I thought it was gonna be. First off, much more emotional than I was expecting, which I did hear a few people say that it was really emotional, but I guess I kind of just flew right over my head because I was like, okay, yeah, whatever. I should have known better. With how many pages are in this book, I should have known some emotional damage was going to be included. But this book was really good. There is a love triangle in it, which I personally, I don't think I've read too many books with love triangles, but there's definitely a love triangle in this book. So if that's not something you like, probably don't pick this one up. However, I really enjoyed this one. This one really tugged at my heartstrings because there are a lot of emotional events that happen, and some of the characters really go through some deep stuff. One thing I kept thinking about ever since I finished this book, because it's something I always consider when rating books, is were there any slow moments and slow periods throughout the books? For this one, the beginning of the book was slow, I guess you could say, but at the same time, I don't know how to put it into words. It was slow because I was waiting for something to happen. However, the whole time there was stuff happening. There were definitely things going on, but I feel like I was just waiting for something bigger to happen. But everything that goes on in this book I feel is crucial, especially for the way it ends and all the stuff that takes place later on. Honestly, I would recommend going into this book blind. The experience will be much better if you go into this one with only the knowledge that you got right here. Snaps for Noah Riley. Snaps for Noah Riley, because that man is, I think something I loved about him so much is his communication skills. Probably one of the best MMCs that I've read about when it comes to communication. This man, even if it was something like awkward or something hard to talk about, he's gonna share his feelings and he's gonna be honest about them. And that is what I love this man so much. He goes through, so I'm not spoiling anything, but like, I loved him. He is an amazing guy. Noah Riley. Final rating for this is 4.5 stars. It's not a 5-star read because I didn't get that 5-star feeling, and I do think it could have been faster in some places, some areas of the book, but really enjoyed this one. Not what I was expecting at all. However, I loved it. I would highly recommend. Okay, so that is gonna wrap up this little mood reading vlog. This Summer Will Be Different and Say You Swear are the 2 books I read in this video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Please comment down like any other video ideas, because I want like more fun and creative ways to film these reading vlogs. So maybe give me good ideas of things that should choose what I read. But thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed. If you want more book content from me, all of my socials are in the description. I post and talk about books a lot on any of those other socials. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Love you guys so much, and I will see you in my next one. Bye!